Hey, welcome to my channel where I talk about my dolls, and that's literally it. And in this video, I'm going to be continuing my series of videos for spooky season, Halloween, which means these are another couple dolls that are not my usual American Girl kind of stuff. And I may compare them a lot to Integrity Toys, a doll brand I used to collect a lot more. They're called Mizi, and these particular dolls are from their Moment of Fantasy collection. They're vampire Dracula themed, so that's when they were revealed. I wanted them because I knew that I would put them out at Halloween time, and that's basically it. And so that's why I'm opening them on here now, even though I've had them for quite a few months. I don't even know how long, probably early spring. And there are two dolls. I'm going to start with the one, I like them both, but I'm going to start with the one I don't like as much. And to anyone who doesn't collect Integrity Toys or Mizi, they come in the very similar packaging. They're just, a lot of people might call Mizi an homage or a ripoff of Integrity Toys because they're high-end fashion dolls, 12-inch size. And as I said, they come in a shipper that these ones have a sticker that say what doll is inside, and they give a little bit of information, not much really, just the website, and that it's fragile, so handle with care. But they usually, the funny thing about the shipper boxes is they'll ship them inside another box. So they've become more like storage boxes rather than shipper boxes. So I'm just going to take off that plastic because it's going to be enough glare as is. And this particular release, so as I said, these are called the Moment of Fantasy. They have different Moment of Fantasy dolls. And this collection, I got both of the ones that came out at the same time. But before this, they had a sort of like an underwater creature collection, and I only got the male doll from that. And so I'll explain that better when I get to the second doll. And what I love is I do love the coffin packaging because I also opened a few Living Dead dolls on here a couple of videos ago, and they also come in coffin-shaped boxes. But inside, these are protected with a foam. So this layer up here is, I don't know if you can tell, just regular grade foam. But I don't know if there's some kind of pattern here that I don't understand what that is, but I guess it's to show off the doll parts that are inside. And I haven't looked at her much, so I'll try to go through this slowly so that I don't miss any details. But she's strapped in here with her white gown and, like I said, vampire theme. So I think I might have to pull up the entire foam inlay to undo some stuff. And here's a doll stand underneath. So I brought scissors. I didn't bring scissors. So you know what? She's tied in. So I'm just trying to. Usually they're inside of cardboard box, not this foam. So this is new for me. But I guess it's just all kind of the same, except it's foam instead of cardboard. Just looks a little more awkward. And just like Integrity Toys, sorry if I keep comparing them, but that's where a lot more of my doll collecting experience is. They're held in with ribbons, white ribbons. Usually around more than just their neck. Usually it's around their feet and their arms as well, but it looks like she just has it on her neck. Which good, because it's a lot harder to dig through this foam than a cardboard box that's completely open. Yeah. We get her out. All right. Okay, so she comes with plastic over her head, which is also unusual. I'll get to her more in a second, but I just want to get everything out of the box so that I can kind of get it out of the way. But yeah, really nice materials. A lot of people would say about I think it's JHD, is that the name of the company? I don't know. I don't collect them that much, but I like the ones that I have, and that's kind of how I go about collecting Mizi dolls. So they always come with dolls like this, always come with extra hands, and as you can see, there's like a peg that you would stick into their hand. I'll show you how that works after, in case you've never dealt with these kind of dolls before. And usually there's some kind of accessories box, but they're all just, everything on these dolls are just shoved into the foam. So this is kind of like, I feel very amateur going through this because it's very different from what I'm used to. So in case you don't know these kind of dolls, there's an acrylic, just a plain acrylic, and then it says JHD Fashion Doll. So I think JHD, his name stands, is Jason something, and he's the designer of the dolls. And for real, I'm not somebody who, like, I'm aware when I collect dolls I'm a little bit aware of who does, designing and stuff like that. But I'm more like, just give me the dolls. That's all I care about. And inside, I'm pulling all these plastic parts apart because it's like I'm trying to talk while figuring it out. And there's this little certificate of, oh, it's really hard to read. There's a certificate inside that says Dark Shadows Moment of Fantasy. Because as I said, this isn't their first Moment of Fantasy collection. And the ink is like black, shiny black, or maybe red. And so these were limited edition of 600 dolls. And her certificate at least is numbered 547. So yeah, that's another thing when it comes to these high-end fashion dolls. They're a lot more limited than the limited edition sizes that we're used to in American Girl or Disney or anything else I've ever collected, like 600. And they didn't even, it's like, there's not enough of because they're expensive. They're about $200 too. I got mine on it from a Canadian. They call them dealers, and I hate that hearing dealer, but I think they mean like dealership. And those are such awkward stands too. So I think I paid about $229 for Canadian for mine. And I think the American price is probably about $189. I believe the male doll was a little bit more expensive. So it's just a saddle stand. There's not much to it. There's not much structure. You're probably looking at it and wondering, how on earth does that even hold a doll up? And I had to figure that out the hard way too. So now I can move on to the actual doll. Got a lot of layers on this dress. I'm not really showing you. And my camera is really close because I wanted to show the details of the doll, but now you can't see the table. Oh no. So lots of, these are honestly high-end fabrics. They don't feel very plasticky like I'm always talking about when I unbox American Girl doll. We've got some embroidery going through the outer cloak and so many big layers. Okay, and so this is just a dress with a underlay, and the underlay has this like crimson, almost like blood red ruffle at the bottom. And these dolls always come, and I don't know why they come with, oh, she's got both. Okay, so this is wrapped around both knees. It's something like a knee protector. I don't know if they don't want them bending their knees in the box, if they think that's going to, I don't know, make them become weaker over time. And the articulation works in a way that it's almost like the knee disappears up inside the knee. So there's like two knees. Does that make sense? There are two knees on each leg. And now I've talked in the past about the quality of small little details with their accessories, like their shoes and their jewelry and stuff like that. So now you can see, okay, these aren't too bad. They've got zippers on them, but sometimes you will get a shoe like this and have to get that on your doll by opening each strap and then putting it on the doll's foot and then feeding each strap back through. But luckily for this particular shoe, they put a zipper on the back, like a really small zipper. So these won't be as much of a struggle, which is good because I didn't bring tweezers. Usually I need tweezers when I'm doing this on like Integrity or Mizi kind of dolls. But you still do have to be careful because, oh yeah, okay, this one actually went on really easily. Sometimes it's a struggle to get their toes to go through the straps and into the toe of the shoe. And so anybody on here who's watching, who collects American Girl, because that's my main focus on this channel, on these videos, you will probably be amazed at like the kind of little details they put in. And let me show you again, because I don't know if I made it clear, like with all those little buckles. And they can come undone. There's no reason to for this particular doll, luckily. Because I've had some Integrity Toys shoes that I would not be able to open on a video. I have to like sit down with a tweezer and focus and just go one little step at a time because you're really worried about, you know, ripping any of the small little like fake leather details. And the hairnet's already taken itself off, but it's not the same ooh factor as some people feel from American Girl. And I also find that these dolls, when I say these and talk about Integrity and Mizi, they come with this sort of waxy feeling to the hair. I think they put something to keep it kind of slick and in place while it's traveling. And I know a lot of people hate the way it feels, so they tend to wash it out. But I actually like it. It makes it seem kind of oily. She's, you know, supposed to be, her name is the Haunted Castle. So I don't know if she's supposed to be a ghost or like a bride of Dracula, but I think it suits her. Do you want to see her face closer up? I don't even think I've even talked about her face at all. And one thing I will say, to keep comparing to Integrity Toys, is their sculpts, their faces aren't quite as beautiful. They're a little bit more cartoony, but they're still very, very beautiful. Like I don't mean that to sound shady. It's just when I compare them to Integrity Toys have extremely beautiful sculpts, but there was definitely inspiration from Integrity Toys for this doll line. And I'm not being a hater at all. I hope that doesn't sound like that. But it's just, you know, because I collected both, I can see the similarities. And getting them on the stand, getting them to balance is not always the best time. So, because all they do is straddle it. And sometimes our shoes make it easier and sometimes they make it harder. Hers weren't too bad. And so there's a lot of articulation. So her elbow's going to come up and I'm just going to steal the elastic band that came around this. So it comes with a clear elastic band. And now I can show you a little bit more. So a lot of people think they come with manicured hands. So if you look, hopefully they can block out the background. They come with really long painted nails. And these hands are a little bit like bendable. Like the materials on the hands are softer than the bodies. The bodies are like I think they can click together. Like they make a noise. Let me show you over here. So that you can hear how, like maybe you can make out how hard the bodies are compared to their hands, as in Mizi. Integrity Toys have hard hands as well. And so now to get them out, you just pull it, and there are these ridges inside that make them click into place. And then you can use these replacement hands. Usually they'll have just flat hands, and then they'll have, well, in this case, they're just posing hands rather than if you had a purse or something, they would be able to hold. They would come with like a grippy hand. These, I think maybe you could. I'll put it on, I'll click it into her wrist and then show you close up that it's just got a bit more of a, I don't know, a dainty expression. I'm going to take her off the stand because it's not helping when I show her closer up. So as you can see, it's just got a bit more of a pose to it. And I don't know the names of the skin tones for Mizi. This would probably be considered Japan skin tone for Integrity Toys. I told you, I warned you, I'm going to be comparing them a lot just because I have a lot more knowledge in the Integrity Toys world. I think I only have one other female Mizi doll aside from her. I think she's my second one. Third, maybe. And now onto the jewelry. So Integrity, high-end fashion dolls come with very realistic jewelry, as in it's made of metal and real beads, and there'll be clasps instead of, this is a mess. Is it supposed to hang like this? Probably. Oh, I see how it's supposed to be. So I think because it's a pearl necklace, it's supposed to, the red ones are supposed to look kind of bloody. So there's like a fish, I think it's called a fish hook clasp. And this is going to be a little bit tricky getting on her, but I'm just showing you the details of it before I do. It's not going to be fun to do it on camera. Actually, you know what? Let me get her hair out of the way and it might not be too bad. I just can't really get in and show you how I'm doing it. I don't even think you would care. You're just humoring me at this point. Sometimes a third hand would help, but I'm stubborn. Almost got it on her. And it runs away. We've all dealt with fish hook clasps. I think you know what I'm doing right now and why it's so awkward. Oh, come on. Okay, let me take her off this annoying stand. Because I really don't love the way they function, the stands. But I understand why they wouldn't want it to clasp around any part of their body and maybe interfere with the intricate fabrics. Or it just make anything bunch up. So I think it has become the lesser of all the evils as far as doll stands go. And maybe I should have brought my tweezers. Oh, sorry. Oh, wow. I've never had so much trouble because to compare again, was it on all that time and I was struggling for nothing? To compare again to Integrity Toys. Integrity Toys have these, they don't have fish hook clasps. They have hook and almost like, you know, to anyone who puts on American Girl necklaces, I think it's supposed to go like that. Let me turn it around. And so I feel like because they have these dangling, she has these dangling beads coming off it, I think it's supposed to hang off her and look like dripping blood, kind of. I don't know. That's the best I can get it. It's the best I can tell. And I've had these sitting in my closet or in a drawer for so long that I haven't sort of followed up. I haven't looked at the stock pics since I ordered the dolls. So, okay, it's starting to settle in. It's starting to look a little bit better. Let me just get her back on this weird stand. And they have ball jointed hips, so her legs are, she's just going all over the place as I'm trying to get her to stand on here. Okay, there we go. And I'm only going to change the one hand. And before I start posing her around, she's really, but she's looking at me with macabre. And she comes with this really, really beautiful headpiece, which is metal and it's kind of like tulle, I think. So if you can see there, I hope we can catch some of the sparkle because it's the metal prongs coming up are covered in rhinestones. Like it looks like there are 3 to each one. Very, very, this is very beautiful and it's got pearl looking details. I don't know if I was getting it close enough for you to be able to see everything. I hope I am, but there you go. I hope that's enough. Sorry. And then it just slides over her hair. I feel like it's not gonna, okay, it's just fine. Nice. Look how pretty she is now. I wish I hadn't put my camera so high because you're not able to, you know, I have to bring her closer on this annoying doll stand. I'll figure it out. I still have another doll to open. I feel like she should have gotten her own video at this point. So here she is. I don't know the name of her sculpt, of her, because it's, sorry, in these high-end fashion worlds, they call them sculpts, not molds. So there are a few female that the Mizi dolls have. She's not Mizi, I don't think. Maybe she's Cindy. The names are so Cindy, that's the name of a mold. So I just haven't been able to memorize them. So that's everything that comes with her. And another set of hands. You know, you just kind of choose which pose you want her to have. She doesn't have a bag, so I guess that's why she doesn't have a proper grippy hand. Now, let me get on to the doll. I'm even more excited about because there's Mizi, who's like the main female character, and then there's Adonis, who's the main male character, and then since he's become popular as his own character, they don't really do, I haven't really seen them bring back the other male dolls since. He's almost become like his own line, the way Poppy Parker's her own line in the Integrity Toys world, as in I'm going to compare everything to Integrity Toys. So same thing, it comes in this shipper box. That's more of a storage box because nobody really ships with these. They put these inside another box and it opens up that way. And he's going to look the same except his box is black to begin with. And these usually come in a box that's shaped more like this box. And sometimes they have a display window like this. And sometimes you need to open the doll to see what's inside. And I haven't looked at him very much. Too much glare that you're not going to get to see him. So let me take off this coffin lid, which is so cute because he's Dracula. Because that's his Moment of Fantasy Dracula. That's his name. And he's got that red foam around him as well. And it looks like he has a sheen to his face. Some kind of pearly paint. That's what it looks like through the foam. But like I said, I haven't looked at him too closely. I don't want to mix up their parts. I'm trying to sneak a peek. Because I'm finally opening him. Yeah, I had to pull out the... Maybe I didn't need to pull this out. You know what? Let me see if I can get away with it. So his bow ribbon is a lot more... It's a lot easier to, first of all, see, because it's white against all the black he's wearing. And the ribbon was hanging lower, so it was easier to... Well, it's double knotted, so it would have been easier to open if it wasn't... If Mizi didn't insist on double knotting their knots. I don't think it's necessary when you're tying a bow, but maybe that's just me being a baby because it's hard to open double knots. And even though she's very beautiful, lots of intricate fabrics and details, I just feel like looking at him even this much, there's so much more to him. Let me first pull him out before I get the rest of the stuff out of the box. Nice, can you already see? And this is, oh wow, I didn't even see all those, ooh, he's got a lot of, they look like Swarovski. Sorry, let me get everything out before I just tease by saying what I see instead of showing you. So I've got, oh, it's stuck. Yeah. Okay, so his, and maybe hers was supposed to be too, but his string, the backing of it is stuck to the box, so I don't want to pull it all the way through. I'll never be able to get it back in. Hopefully I can remove this doll stand. I think the male doll, oh, he's got a straddle stand too. Usually the male dolls, and I don't know if this is considered like sexist, usually the male dolls in any other fashion collector line, they don't come with a straddle stand. They come with a, like, it kind of goes under their armpits stand. I don't know the name of that. I'm saying straddle stand, saddle stand. But they do straddle it, so it's not completely wrong to call it that. There we go. Sort of. Usually they're taped, and this one just seems to be sealed. Put this annoying stand together. And it's a standard, so I'm not saying there's anything wrong that Mizi makes these stands. What's in here? Probably some kind of jewelry, maybe a thumb ring. Oh, wow. That's nice. Like, again, I forgot a lot of what's in these boxes. So let's see if you care about the certificate. Same dark shadow, and I have to hold it up to the light. He's number 12012 of 620. So not he, his certificate is numbered 12 of 620. So yeah, I guess that means the male doll was a little bit more popular because they made 20 more pieces than they did of the female doll, whose name I don't know. But he is Adonis, like that's his character. And I think I was starting to talk about how I collect the Adonis dolls. I've never shown them on here. They're all put away because I don't have anywhere to display them. But it's this character, so this face, and where do I begin with unboxing him? So let me just put his cloak aside for a second because he's got a lot of plastic on his, like, plastic protection, which means I got a lot of free elastic bands with this guy, I think. Oh boy. And yes, his face is definitely shiny to look a bit more magical. I'm putting those away for later. He comes with a lot of nice stuff. Again, I don't want to mix anything up. So the funny thing, okay, it's very funny that he comes with the extra hands that he comes with because I don't think Dracula would ever be holding up victory signs. But he does come with a hand that's got that. So now let me show you, first of all, the doll up close with, I haven't taken off his hairnet yet, which is pretty much a face net on him. As you can see, it covers all of him. And this is a very delicate mesh material that I think you can tell by looking at it. I think I saw pearl details on here. Yeah, so pearl buttons going down here underneath the black ribbon. The red cummerbund, just silky, probably polyester. His pants are, I don't know if you can tell on camera, they're like a shiny, polyestery, silky material. He's got knee protectors on each knee, but I generally don't take them off because they're a lot of work to get off, and they're even more work to put back on if you ever put your dolls away for selling, or for, in these dolls' cases, for the off season. So I'm just going to remove his hand protectors. I maybe because there's so many different colors on these dolls, like the black, and you have to worry about dye transfer. I haven't had a lot of dye transfer issues with these high-end fashion dolls, but they may put them on there for the trip. And then he's got more pearl buttons on his cuff. I don't know if you're able to see that already. So let me take off his hairnet. I can talk more about the face. I thought he had painted fangs. I think he does, but they're just so small and they're next to his pearly skin that it's harder to make out. So one thing that I noticed when I changed from Disney doll collecting, especially the 12-inch scale, to high-end fashion dolls, is they have rooted hair, whereas Disney dolls, like whenever they would do a 12-inch Prince doll, even if it was a designer doll, so more expensive and more detailed, they would have sculpted hair or molded hair. And so that was a really exciting upgrade when I switched to these kinds of dolls. Oh, cute. So his shoes, obviously. They're a patent leather with this velveteen flocked tongue going down. I don't know if you can see all the details before I put them on him, but I think you can make out what's what because of luckily for all this glare. And it is easier to tell what shoe goes on what foot with these dolls for me, but they're such delicate materials. Can you even see what I'm doing? Doesn't matter. I'm putting on shoes. But I just always feel like I have to be careful because they're so small and delicate. And even, I don't know, I haven't really had a lot of, because honestly, there are times that you put something on your doll that can break because it's so delicate, and I haven't had much bad luck with that. Okay, and now let me talk about this beautiful cloak. So it's all black velvet on the outside, I think you can see, and there's it kind of looks like spider webbing embroidery details coming down. I don't know what that's supposed to look like, bat-like. And then it's lined in red, like a red, how polyester. You know, this feels pretty silky. I don't think it is straight up silk, but it's nicer feeling than a lot of the silky fabrics I get with American Girl. And you can see all these Swarovski black rhinestones shining. They look, I don't feel like anything but Swarovski would shine that much. But they didn't mention Swarovski in the listing when they posted it all, but this is too sparkly. It's too impressive to be, I don't know, maybe it's Diamante. I've heard of those as well. I have to put them in my lap to get this on him though, because there's a clasp. I'm not totally sure. Oh, I guess it just clasps over his shoulders. Oh, I can see now. So this is, Integrity Toys is the same thing, called hook and loop closure, and there'll be this, let me just show you, because this is the most annoying thing about high-end fashion dolls. So there's this hook, just a little thread that's going to be in here, and it's the same color as the fabric. It's always the same color as the garment that it's clasping, and so you have to dig kind of looking for it. And it's not too bad because this is velvet, but sometimes it just looks like any other thread that would be on the outfit. So often it would be really hard, and it's sewn so tightly that the first time that you have to hook the hook through, oh, okay. Usually it's not that easy, and that wasn't even that easy, but it was easier than normal. Oh, it drops. Okay. All right. I thought it was supposed to sit up almost like 2 feet above his head for a second. And I have to get this out of the way because he comes with a special little accessory. Oh, he sits a lot better on his stand than she does. It's taped to my table. It's like I'm saving that little cool piece for last because I completely forgot about it. So here he is. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show him. Oh, let me put his hands out so he can hold. You know what? I have to look at him. Because it's a very heavy cloak for such a small-scale doll. I can see why this wasn't clasped in the package when he was shipped. Okay, this looks a little funny. How do I get, what's a good way for him to hold this open? Well, you know what? It doesn't look right when he's held open, so I'm just going to show it to you as is. Looks really funny. And then I'll show you his accessory without the cloak on. I guess it's one or the other unless you hold him or display him this way. So, whoop, sorry, all this material. Can you see that? He's so luxurious looking, yeah? I'm looking at the monitor and he picks up really well on the monitor. Like you can see his pearly skin and all that sparkle to his cape, and you can see that it's like a high quality velvet. The way it comes down in this like Morticia style bottom. The finishing is very Morticia, her dress from the Adonis family. I think everybody would know who I'm talking about. And now, let me show you, oh, okay, fine. First, let me show you his other hands that look so ridiculous for this kind of character. Like, could you imagine Dracula holding up like a fist? Why? I don't think I'm ever going to put these on him. Or worse, I don't know, maybe this Dracula has a sense of humor. But yeah, he comes with that or like a peace or a victory sign as his other hand. So bizarre. But all the Adonis dolls have these alternate hands, so maybe it'd be even weirder if they didn't come with it. But now, my favorite piece, I think, of him is his skull staff. Oh, it does untape. Whoops. And I'm going to have to untape it anyway, because the skull head's way too big to come out. Come on. So this is metal and quite heavy for a doll accessory. I don't know how I'm going to be able to give you like a full circle of it. I feel like it's so shiny in here, or it's so shiny that you're not going to be able to tell what it is like from the side, but it's very detailed and metal all the way down. Love it. I think that was obvious. And he had some kind of ring somewhere that did I put it away? All these plastic bags that they come with. Probably hidden somewhere. You probably saw where I put it. And you thought, he's going to regret that later. Uh-oh. Does he need to wear his ring? Fine. Let me look if I just threw it in here. In my excitement, I did. It's taped into another bag. And it's a skull ring. Oh, okay. I'm glad I went digging. But there's no way, I just don't know if you're going to be able to see this on, because it's so small that I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up properly. Maybe it's a thumb ring. It's pretty big. And there's no, yeah, I'm going to try. And then maybe when it's on his finger, you'll be able to see it a bit better. But can you even make that out at all? It's so little. But it's like so little that you're impressed that they were able to produce something so small. And what? That's even big for his thumb. What's this going to sit on? It is a ring, right? I don't know what else it would fit on. I'm a little disturbed. Maybe his middle finger. Maybe his fingers will hold it. Sorry, it's hidden under his cloak. And yeah, because their fingers are all spread when it's not the victory. It's such a weird ring. I love it, but it's so weird. It's such a weird... Okay, maybe not that finger then. Because as I'm saying all the fingers are spread, then I put it on the fingers that are kind of held together. Okay, look at him showing off his ring. Let me try to bring him closer. Maybe you can make it... Maybe you'll be able to see the details that way. Is it close enough? So anyway, I love the ring. And even if it's not completely visible, I love knowing that it's there. I don't know how he's supposed to hold this staff. I'm just trying to... I want them to look pretty for the last shot, and I'm almost done. So that's like... getting excited, I guess. So I guess this hand has a bit more of a... Oh, it's so heavy, I don't know if it's even able to hold it in the air. Yeah? All right. Well, he's going to fall forward. So, in theory, it's really amazing. And, you know, when you have something on display and you're not recording yourself, it's easier to play around and get things to sit nice. But, oh, if he doesn't fall over, that's nice, right? Let me be daring and bring him closer to the camera. But, yeah, he holds it between his thumb and forefinger, no problem. And maybe it's overkill having the ring on there with it, but I don't want to hold out his other hand because something's got to be under this cloak because it's so big. Anyway, so to anybody who has never heard of Mizi, especially Adonis, because Adonis, like I said, has become its own thing over the past couple years, these are two high-end fashion dolls, Halloween themed, and like I said in the beginning, it's out of my normal content, videos or whatever. So to anyone who watched and enjoyed or whatever, thank you very much. And I will have my last Halloween spooky season video will be American Girl themed, so don't worry. And so once again, thank you to everyone, and I will see you soon in the next one.